Week 6 started back on Thursday night with the Bucs beating the Eagles in Philadelphia and will conclude on Monday night in Nashville in a duel between the Bills and Titans. There is a lot to discuss, between Urban Meyer getting his first career NFL win, to the Giants single-handedly seemingly having everyone on their roster outside of Daniel Jones injured, offensively at least, and the Ravens absolutely smoking the Los Angeles Chargers. So without further ado, let's begin. And we are going in chronological order, so we will be going from Thursday night's game to now. And the first thing I would like to discuss regarding the Philadelphia Eagles is Nick Sirianni's play calling at times is flat out bad. Not mediocre, just bad. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the first half put up 21 points and had 3 drives where they had at least 9+ and 2 drives with 10 or more plays, and while, let's just be clear, I did not expect the Eagles defense to be able to hold Tom Brady and to have him confused and to have him sacked 5 or 6 times, holding the Bucs to 13 points or something absurd like this, what I would have expected in return is Sirianni to try and slow the game down in relation to how long Tampa was on the field versus his defense. The Bucs ended up having the ball for over 39 minutes of the game, and that is obviously not good on a Sunday, but when you play 4 days prior to that Thursday night, it is especially not good. And the reason I am so critical on Sirianni is because the Eagles ran the ball with their running backs one singular time in the first half of the game. And I am fully aware of how good the Bucs run defense is and how dominant Vita Vea is at what he does, specifically which is clog the middle, but my point is try an outside run with whether it's Miles Sanders or whoever. Just flat out accepting that running with the running backs is going to be bad is not a good coaching decision, and while admittedly I don't think the Eagles would have ran for 6 or 7 yards per carry, playing backyard football and saying, Jalen, make a pass or run around till you can get a couple of yards on a run is certainly not good either. Eagles fans, from the ones I've talked to, you know who you are, have expressed your frustration with Sirianni and have said they would be surprised if he lasts 2 full seasons. Again, those are others' words, not mine, but I understand to a degree where Nick is coming from with a revolving door at offensive line, while also acknowledging that his job, the head coach's job, is to out-scheme the defense and to call better plays. The Bucs did what they were expected to do, win, and good for them as they enter Week 7 with a 5-1 record, but as for Eagles fans and the city of Philadelphia, I certainly understand your frustration through 6 weeks. Bengals-Lions will be relatively quick, but they are 4-2. Joe Burrow is playing good, and the outlook for Cincinnati is what they were hoping for entering 2021. Cincinnati fans knew the rebuild would be a few years, but with how good Joe is playing, even with a loss like they had to Green Bay in Week 5, which was absolutely gut-wrenching, they are still far ahead of what was expected, and the playoffs are certainly in the future for them this year. At least the playoff expectations are. Winning a game and winning multiple games in the playoffs, I would imagine, is in 2022 and beyond, but to get Joe that experience in 2021 is certainly in the cards for them. Now, as for Detroit and Motor City, everyone knew this was going to be a long year. Everyone. Period. This is going about as well as they expected. Actually, it can't really get worse than what they were expecting. But anyways, what is important to note is Jared Goff is now 0-13 as a starter without having Sean McVay as his head coach. If you did not know that, I'll just go ahead and say it again. Jared Goff is 0-13 as a starter without Sean McVay as his head coach. So the question, and Lions fans, please comment below, or really anyone for that matter, who does Detroit draft if there is a quarterback available when they select next April? Green Bay, Chicago is next, and there's a few things that need to be said regarding this game. For starters, the Aaron Rodgers getting a touchdown, then screaming "I own you" to the fans, considering the situation, was hard, and good for Aaron and Green Bay at that point in the game. I admittedly, holy crap, Trayvon Diggs has a pick 6 as I'm recording this. Oh my gosh, the Cowboys are actually going to take the lead. Anyways, admittedly, I'm going to keep that in, by the way, guys. Admittedly, would not have been happy had he done that at US Bank Stadium, but I do think the Packers, much like the Buccaneers Thursday, needed to take care of business and did. Green Bay has a difficult schedule in the next month, and I don't want to say will be tested, implying they haven't been yet, but at the Cardinals, at the Chiefs, then the Seahawks, hoping Russell will be back by then Minnesota, then the Rams, you'll see that on the screen now, is not easy. And yes, I am including Minnesota in that because they did in fact beat Green Bay the last time they faced off. Also, Trayvon Diggs just had a pick six. That's actually pretty wild regarding this game because now it's 26-21 Cowboys. Mac Jones on the turf right now. Can't show it on the screen because of copywriting issues, but this has taken a huge turn in the Cowboys-Patriots game. Anyways, taking care of business for Green Bay is essential, and that is what they did on Sunday. Now, as for Chicago, they have a rookie quarterback and a coach that's on the hot seat, and Matt Nagy probably will get fired if they don't make the playoffs, and weapons on offense for them are not great. I don't expect them to beat teams like a Green Bay, like a Tampa next week, and like a Baltimore later in the year. It is a rebuilding season with a rookie quarterback, and I very much expect them to be a 6 to 8 win team this year, and if they get a win against an elite of elite team, then good for them. But I don't expect Chicago to be much more than average in 2021, and as I am finishing this part of the video up, Dallas did not get the 2-point conversion, and they were stuffed for a 6-yard loss. Trayvon Diggs, Defensive Player of the Year, get the campaign going. He just keeps doing it week in and week out. Now, the next game we go to will be the Colts-Texans. There's really not a lot to discuss here other than the Colts demolished the Texans. The Texans are now very much playing exactly like we expected them to. And by the way, between recording the Trayvon Diggs pick 6 and now, as I'm recording the Colts-Texans, the Patriots are now up 29-26. So if you are listening to this video and watching, I appreciate the support and the time out of your day to watch. But I will be throwing in segments with that game along with this video, so I hope you guys enjoy the commentary with it. Now it's on the kick return back, and they were tackled at the 30. Anyways, next game, Rams-Giants. Scoregami. We love to see scoregami. That is one of my favorite things to root for in a game that I generally do not care about because the Vikings aren't going to win the Super Bowl this year, and the Rams-Giants is pretty meaningless towards them and for them. Daniel Jones threw 3 picks. He threw the ball 51 times today, and that kind of describes really how their day went for them. They did not have a lot of players on their offense. Saquon Barkley included, Darius Slayton and Kenny Golladay were both out, and Kadarius Toney left with an injury. So that kind of described really, in a sense, how the Giants' day went for them, and they are now 1-5. And it's unfortunate for the Giants because of all of the injuries that have happened for them, but in a sense, it's not going to get better, at least this year, because at 1-5, I mean, even if they win 6 games, that puts them at 7-10, or at least 7 wins, even if they would win 6 in a row, and that's probably not going to happen for them. So in a sense, the Giants season is very much over, and for the Rams, it is very much just getting started. Okay, update, the Cowboys-Patriots game now going to overtime. However, we are headed to Charm City, aka Baltimore, to discuss now the Ravens absolutely killing the Chargers. Now, Lamar did not have the best day through the air, as he threw 2 interceptions, threw for less than 200 yards, and compared to the Lamar Jackson that we saw last Monday, he was certainly not the same passer. However, him, John Harbaugh, and the rest of the Ravens fan base certainly does not care pertaining to the results. They got a dominant 28-point win over one of the best teams in the AFC and a perennial contender, at least that we expect to be for the next 10 years, in the Chargers, and they showed them who is, for now, the king of the AFC regarding that. I do think the Ravens and the Bills are the 2 teams at the top of the AFC. In terms of the entire NFL, this is a game we will get to a little later, but the Arizona Cardinals with the way that they dominated the Browns in today's game. Good win for the Ravens. I do not think this is all of a sudden the end for the Chargers, and if/when the Chargers and Ravens meet in January, which I am seriously hoping that they do, it will be a much different ballgame. Alright, update everyone. CeeDee Lamb just hit Jalen Mills with the wave in the walk-off touchdown. That game was electric. I personally had Cowboys minus 3.5, so I was very much rooting for the Cowboys to win the football game. Anyways, heading to Washington to discuss the Chiefs, and Patrick Mahomes is coming down to earth. And one thing I wanted to share with you guys, I shared this over the summer in a couple of videos, but Patrick Mahomes last year in 2020, I don't know the exact statistic off of the top of my head, but he had something like 25 interceptable passes, which was the most in the league. And even that I just said maybe exaggerated, maybe he had 20 or something in that general vicinity. Regardless, it was the most in the league, and as we have seen on social media everywhere, Patrick had just 6 interceptions in 2020. So there was definitely a bit of a scary couple moments, or for a 20 or 30 minute time period during the game for Chiefs fans because of Tyreek Hill tipping a pass and then McCole Hardman fumbling the football. It was a little bit of an uneasy feeling, and the possibility of the Chiefs going to 2-4 scared the crap out of some Chiefs fans. Now they are 3-3, and the possibility of them going 3-4 may be higher than Chiefs fans would like to admit, as their next game is at Tennessee. Now, as for Washington, again, it's much of the same story. I know Taylor Heinicke probably is not going to be their long-term franchise quarterback, but Washington is a team now that was expected to have a dominant defense in 2021, and they've given up less than 29 points in one singular game, and ironically, of all teams, it was to the Chargers, led by Justin Herbert, who is a very good quarterback. Now, there's a lot to cover in today's video with everything that happened, so some general closing thoughts are: good for the Raiders to get a win after what happened with them regarding this week. It's been a very long week for the Raiders franchise and the organization, whether they're fans or in the actual front office of the Raiders. It's been a long week, so good for them to get the win. As for the Vikings, I still am very much on the fire Mike Zimmer train. You're up 28-17 with 5 minutes to play, and you allow a 96-yard drive led by Sam Darnold. To me personally, is unacceptable. Good for the team getting the win, but they should have never been in overtime. Honestly though, good for KJ Osborne for him to recover the way that he did to get that game-winning touchdown. As for the other games, good for Urban Meyer getting his first win in London. And as for the Cleveland Browns, they do play Denver on Thursday night, and they are a 3-3 football team, and I do think that they will be 4-3 after Thursday. So it's been a rough 8 days for the Browns, losing twice, one in heartbreaking fashion to the Chargers last week the way that they did, and then today with the Cardinals coming in and beating them by 20 plus points in their own stadium certainly is not ideal for them and their fans. Now, as we close today's video, I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you did, now is the time that I ask you to please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And I personally enjoyed adding in the bits of the Cowboys and Patriots game, as it was fun to follow along as I was recording. So I hope you guys enjoyed that too. Let me know what you think in the comments, and until next time, have a great day. Love you guys. Deuces. Peace.